Hey everyone, this is Pam Sterling with the Outrageous Story of Raw Food Adventure, and we are back with Christensen, and we have been following her journey through this 30-day Outrageous Story Raw Food Adventure, and we're at the end. We're at the end of the 30 days, and excited
or the beginning.
End of the beginning, exactly. And excited to sort of wrap up with Christine and just see how these 30 days have gone. Now you had some specific goals,
yes.
And so one of those goals was to lose some weight. Mm-hmm. One of the goals was to stay 100% raw.
Right.
You were also looking at your budget and how this would impact your budget.
Right.
And then I think you said, in general, you just wanted to feel better.
I wanted to be able to sustain all of the inspiration that keeps happening and be able to actually do and put into action all of the wonderful things that I've been feeling like I wanted to put into action. And
Mm-hmm.
I feel like the way I've been eating, the way I've been nurturing myself has really allowed me to have amazing amounts of energy. It just...
Awesome.
Yeah. I stay up later, I wake up earlier, I'm really feeling really great.
Great. So one of the ways it's shown up is just requiring less sleep, feeling energy throughout the day. Now,
yeah.
Again, you're a mom of 3 girls.
Oh, one little boy.
Oh, one little boy, sorry.
Sorry,
yeah. 2 girls and a boy.
Yeah.
But yet, several young children.
Yeah, and they keep me very busy, and I'm, for the most part, the one that takes them to school, picks them up, does the play dates, has a full-time career. Also, I work full-time in between when they are at school, so, and I do it all with, just very little amount of sleep. Sometimes I get up in the middle of the night, sometimes I get sick, so yeah. I still want to be able to feel vibrant and powered by something that was really sustainable financially, mm-hmm. and I feel like I found that.
Right.
Yeah.
So let's talk about those other 3 things.
Okay.
So what happened for your weight over the last 30 days?
I noticed initially I lost like 3 pounds in the first week, which I knew was probably mm-hmm. water weight, maybe, not having the heavier foods, and then, I've lost over the remainder of time about 3 or 4 more pounds. Mm-hmm. So, and I still feel like, there's still some more exercise and some more toning that can happen, but I'm really happy with the goals that I've achieved, especially since I've been eating amazing foods. It's not like I've been pulling back on anything except it has to be raw.
So you don't feel like you've been limiting yourself, like you've been on a diet,
Well, I feel like it's a way of life, mm-hmm. and as long as it's raw, I can eat whatever I want, and sometimes that means eating more of something that maybe I normally wouldn't have tried, but that I found that I love. Like, I love eating mangoes, which, I used to eat them a little bit, but before I was concerned about how much fruit because of the sugar or whatever, and now I'm really eating lots of avocados and amazingly wonderful foods.
Yeah. So, and just, you aren't someone who's like, you look at it and anyone would say you were overweight, but so it's interesting that you came down to what feels to you like your ideal weight.
Right.
You lost, it sounds like, around 6 or 7 pounds over the course of 30 days.
Right.
But it just sort of, you feel a little leaner. It's not like now you feel really skinny or something like that.
No.
And it's not like you were particularly overweight when you started, but you just came back to normal weight.
And I could fit back into the clothes that, I lost a lot of weight after my 3rd child, but, it's hard to sustain that if you're eating breads and eating really heavy, dense foods that have no nutritional value really and no life force. And I feel like when you eat something that has most recently been living and is completely unadulterated, your whole life begins to have this surge of energy.
Right.
Yeah.
Now the other thing is you want to look at the budget. So
yes.
How did this compare budget-wise?
Well, I really had to get crafty sometimes. Mm-hmm. That's just what you have to do. And being a mom, most moms and dads who do the budget, they know how to get crafty. So mm-hmm. I bought fruits and vegetables that my family was going to be eating, and I would just figure out how to prepare them for myself raw, mm-hmm. And really I felt like I didn't make a big additional expense, mm-hmm. but you have to be meticulous and you have to plan. You just have to plan.
Right, which you do as a mom anyway.
Right. Right, and if you forget to plan because you haven't had any sleep, or maybe the kids were sick or something, having a lot of fruit, or instead of driving through, which used to be a bad habit that I had, get out of the car, go into the grocery store, and spend $3 and buy a whole bunch of fruits.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Great. So you had another goal. Your fourth goal was to stay 100% raw over the 30 days, which is, a lot to, it's sort of a lot to bite off, so to speak.
Yeah.
So talk about that a little bit and how that's been.
Well, I did 100% raw for most of the time. Mm-hmm. And then I backed up a little bit to 75%, and then that was only for a couple days. And then returned to 100%.
Yeah.
So,
So that's great. I mean, that's a huge accomplishment. I mean, it really is.
It was.
Yeah.
It really was.
So talk about maybe some of your struggles during that time, and why you found yourself backing to 75%, which is still a very high raw diet.
Well, I made it through the dinner out with the girlfriends from college. At Javier's, which is a Mexican food restaurant, which, if you know me, I love Mexican food. I made it through that fine. I just had my salad, I had my water, everyone was having margaritas and chips and everything, and I stuck to it, and I felt really great. I made it through a few kind of overwhelming situations where I was deeply craving grilled cheese sandwiches, and I just didn't do it. But I did not make it through the hospital stay. My daughter was put into the hospital, somewhat serious, and I jumped into chocolate. There happens to be a chocolate factory in the basement. Not really, but it seemed that way. And so I jumped headfirst into it, and I didn't even look back for a second. Beyond that, though, I had a wonderful friend who came and brought me an amazing raw food meal while I was there. Wow. So, I feel like if you have a really good support system, they'll help you kind of climb back out if you do jump off the deep end like I did. It was a very emotional reason, and I'm very aware of that, but I felt like I needed to honor that, and I did, and I moved through it more quickly, I think, because I honored it and I did what I felt like I just had to do.
Yeah, well, it has been, so wonderful to be able to walk with you through these 30 days, and I want to thank you for inviting us into your home and into your life and into your journey. And, I know that there's people who are watching this who are considering also doing the same thing, and so I want to thank you for sharing your journey with us.
Thank you. The one thing that I would say is that you don't know how it's going to affect you until you do it. And it's only 30 days. It's only 30 days, and they're going to happen anyway. So why not try something that could completely transform how you experience your life? And that's what it's done for me.